Hey everyone, Randy from Lion Desk, and today we're going to bring you a little bit of education on how to actually build your network. And we're going to try to bring more value today on ultimately how to expand your network, broaden that, because there's been a lot of discussions not only in the Facebook group, but we're just seeing more and more of it online of the actual best sources to get leads. And people are chasing the portal leads and buying lists and things like that, when sometimes your best leads are the actual real relationships that you establish. So I have today with me Stephen David Elliott from Rockstar Connect. And we're going to talk a little bit about networking and things like that. So if you are a people person, if this is something that interests you in learning how to generate lots of referral style business, I think that you're going to really enjoy today's webinar. So Stephen, say hi to
Hello,
everyone.
Randy. Hey, hi to everyone. Thank you for having me here, Randy. I'm looking forward to providing some value to the audience today about expanding their network.
Excellent. So Stephen, why don't you tell us kind of like why you started Rockstar Connect, like why you thought networking was the thing when there's all kinds of like BNI and stuff like that.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm just about 50 years of age. I'm going to have the big 50 soon. And I've been working for myself since I'm 21. I had created what was my dream job in business. I was running used and rare bookstores. And what I learned when I was doing that, whenever I would chase after business, it would run away from me as fast as I would chase after it. But when I did something that was very beneficial to the business community and to the larger community, people would reward me by doing business with me. And one of the most effective things that I did was networking, specifically running my own networking event. People were able to see me as a benevolent, altruistic leader in the community, someone that was bringing people together to do business with one another. And that made them interact and cooperate with me. Essentially, more people got to know who I was, more people liked me and trusted me, and they referred business to me. So knowing that, I said, you know what, I want to really put this into practice and see how this works in a variety of professions. So I sold my bookstores, I became a real estate agent, and I started hosting my own large networking events. And utilizing just my networking events and no other form of lead generation, I was able to create a program that made me number one in the country in my brokerage out of 2,000 agents.
Wow.
All my business was 100% referral based. People either doing business directly with me from my networking events or them going out in the community and speaking well of me. And when they would speak well of me, then business was sent to me as well. Very powerful, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed doing the networking events. I created a course on how to network the way I did and how to host your own networking events. And what most people told me is, that's fantastic. That's a comprehensive course. I can't implement it. Can you do it for us? So my partner and I, Nick Chaffee, and my wife, Sarah Elliott, we formed Rockstar Connect in October of 2016. We started off with 5 networking events that we did for real estate agents around the country. And now, as of May 2018, almost June, we're in 135 markets. We do 135 networking events per month for our clients. We do everything for them to make them successful. And we're growing continually. Over 500,000 people have attended our events since March of last year.
Nice. So the networking stuff, right? Like, I mean, we've all been to networking events, we've been to conferences, and when somebody goes out and they go get their real estate license, they're taught all kinds of stuff that really isn't about running their, how to run their business, right? How to be successful. They talk about splitting lots, and they go over contracts, and they go over all of these different things, right? But the one thing that they do say is people are like, well, how do I get business? And they say, work your network, right? And I personally believe that real estate transactions should be based on real relationships, right? And so many people treat it transactional. That's why they're looking for this magical unicorn like lead source, right? That it can just kind of be transactional. You're talking about establishing real relationships through these networking events, right? So like if you were a newbie, how would you go out aside from like your networking event, like how would you go out and like try to build those relationships? Like how did you do it? Did you just start going to BNI groups and things like that? Or what does that look like?
Well, you're absolutely right. When you start off and you're a newbie in real estate, your sales manager or your broker in charge takes you in a little room and says, write down every single person that you know in your sphere of influence, is you're going to start working those people. Or they're going to tell you, you're going to get on the phone and I want you to call 200 people today and see if you can get some business. Now, you can get business from both of those ways, absolutely. But there's a lack of efficiency, and it's very complicated to do it that way. I mean, the first thing I think you need to do before you even go forward is you need to get a solid database to put this information in. Probably prior to real estate, you didn't recognize the value of the people that you purchase products from. You didn't realize how many people your friends know, or even for that matter, your parents. So it's very important, I think, to start off by taking and putting that information into your database so that you're prepared to start reaching out to those people. As far then, once you know who can help you increase your business and who you can help as well, because you have to come from a position of giving, then literally I think you need to get on your phone. First step of networking before you even go to a networking event is call the people in your network and let them know, I am now a real estate agent. I know that I'm a newbie, and you're probably not ready to sell a home or buy a home. But if you do know of anyone that can gain value from my services, please reach out to me. I have a lot of time right now. I'm a new real estate agent, and I can really dedicate myself to them achieving their goals.
Gotcha. So would you recommend for somebody who, doesn't do a lot of networking, right? Or maybe is new to networking, right? They don't have a big budget. Let's just say that a newbie agent, or even an agent that's middle of the road, maybe they don't have a big budget, right? Would you recommend like that agent kind of finding all of the BNI groups that are going on in their community and attending them and learning about them and kind of see what's working and start to work a crowd that way?
Yeah, absolutely. There's all different types of networking events. Let's break them up. You have your morning leads groups, like a BNI. They're held all over the United States and really now all over the world. And in those groups, some of them cost money and others are absolutely free to attend. Some are very rigid and have rules about how you pass referrals in the group, and others are more casual, so you can find something that suits your purposes. Don't immediately make a commitment to one specific BNI group, because when you do something like BNI, and we aren't BNI Rockstar Connect, we're something different, but when you make a commitment to that group, you are committed to make referrals to the people in that group. If you are not ready to, if you don't like the people in that group and you don't trust them, chances are you're not going to be successful in that group. One of the nice things about most of these morning events, even the ones that cost money, they'll have a visitors day where you can go to networking events for free and meet the people there. It's a great opportunity to make contacts. I mean, I actually have friends that all they do is go to the visitors days.
Okay.
the free days, and they can go to several there because there's probably several of those per week in your area. Another type of networking event is the lunch events. They're usually lunch and learns, or they're also referral and lead groups. And generally, there's no cost for those. It's just the cost of paying for your meal. Keep in mind, those events are usually a sitting event. There's going to be a speaker at that event. So when you sit down, choose wisely who you're going to sit next to, who's going to be on either side of you, in front of you, because that's who you're going to be networking with at that event. The third type of event is the evening mixer events. Usually these are, like chamber type events, or like Rockstar Connect, our events, and we have 135 of them per month at this point. By the time people listen to this video, it could be double that. But those events are usually more casual. In the case of a chamber event, there is a charge to go to a chamber event. Usually, no more than $20 or $30, and you can offset that by joining that actual chamber. And there's a lot of benefits to joining chamber. Or you can go to after-hour events like Rockstar Connect, where there's no fee to attend the event. Your first investment, what do you have to spend money on? First of all, you have to have a database, either something like LionDesk, or you can even use Excel initially if you don't have a lot of money, because you probably have that in your office suite. Especially use the contacts on your phone. Make sure you put names, phone numbers, company, and some details so you can remember the person that you spoke with. But the great thing about networking is it's as old as time.
Right.
We are designed as human beings to cooperate and collaborate with other people. So this is a natural thing. So you don't need to have any real technological skill to be successful with this. It's something traditional. So first investment, buy some really good business cards. Won't cost you a lot of money. You can spend as little as $50 for business cards. Your broker, if you're a newbie, may give you business cards for free to start. Or, I use cards that are about, for 1,000 cards, I pay about $1,000, but I want them to have impact. So since we're talking about an old-fashioned skill, you get to go back to some of those old-fashioned things, like business cards. For those of you who are a little older, or maybe closer to my age, you may remember the Rolodex. Don't be intimidated by using a database. A database is just a super fancy Rolodex where you can find any information you want. You can categorize people. You can use that to beef up your mailing list and make your, well, what did I say before? You have to make your networking very targeted and effective, because you have to concentrate on doing money-making opportunities.
Right.
So the more organized you are with collecting data, keeping data, collating data, the more effective you'll be at networking.
So, I want to point out, like, when you do a networking event, right? And I've done a lot over the years. You're not necessarily talking to buyers and sellers. You're talking to other people who might already have an audience within that network. Meaning, you might be talking to mortgage brokers. You might be talking to insurance people. You might be talking to the guy that owns the local pub. You might be talking to the woman that that owns a law firm, right? Like, so this isn't necessarily just a pond full of people that are buying and selling houses. These are other leaders in your community that also have a big book of business. Now, those people ultimately do buy homes, right? Let's be honest, right? They are, and typically those people have a little higher net worth, I'm going to assume, right? From your mass experience in this, right? Those are business owners. So is there something that you could do to kind of stand out? Because you really are trying to make a real connection, right? With, let's just say, 2 people at this event of 30. Because how can you make 30 really good, meaningful, I don't know, like, how could you make 30 really good or have 30 good conversations in, let's just say, an hour and a half, right? or
Right.
do you narrow in what do you recommend for like things like that to actually make those real relationships?
Well, first of all, you have to know that networking is the long game. You're absolutely right. When you go to a networking event, although it has happened to me and it's happened to a lot of people I know, most people are not going to come to you and say, I have a house I need to sell or I need advice in real estate. Uh, if you're a real estate agent, you have over 50 people involved in every transaction that you're involved in. And when I say that, that's, the people on the lending side, insurance, the other real estate agent in their office, the buyers, the sellers. But what about the painters that are going to paint the home to get it ready to sell, or the plumber or the air conditioning repairman? What you're going to learn as a real estate agent, whether you're a newbie or you're doing this for a while, your network is your value proposition. So when you go out to a listing, you can't just tell someone you need to have your air conditioner repaired. You have to say, you need to get your air conditioner repaired. Here are 3 people that I recommend that I trust to do that for you. So that makes you a connector. It makes you an expert, etc. Now, as far as standing at a networking event, I know exactly where you're coming from. Many people have less than success with networking, primarily because they don't stand out at an event. For them, it's like going to a networking event is like going to the prom without a date. They don't. You get there, you don't know who to dance with. You feel uncomfortable.
Totally.
You think people are in cliques. You have a couple drinks, you grab 5 business cards, you run away, you never go back again.
Right.
When you host your own networking event, you're the pretty girl at the dance. Everyone knows who you are before they get to the networking event. They've researched you with technology like Facebook and LinkedIn. They've gone to your website. They already know that you're a connector, you're a doer. You're going to dance with everyone there. You're going to get everyone's business card. You're going to get everyone that signs in at the event. And frankly, at that point, you don't have to know all those people. You don't have to have a meaningful connection with them because they know who you are. And that's the important thing. So you have their information. So if you need a painter, you can have a one-on-one, or you need to speak to another lender, you can call out and you can reach out to them and interview them. But in the interim, every single person that went to that event knows that you hosted the event, that you're a well-connected person, that you're a mover and shaker. Alternatively, in addition to meeting you at the event, you're promoting your event. You're mentioning the event on the internet thousands of times with your name connected to it. So people that don't even go to your event, they enter into your network.
Right.
So utilizing my own networking event, and I've run my event for 5 years consistently every month, I have a local database of 20,000 people in my database. Do I know all those people? No, I do not. Do they know me? Yes, they do. And like what we said earlier, the purpose of networking is so people know who you are, they learn to like you, and then they trust you, and then they can potentially send you business. Now, I'd like to speak to sort of like the newbies here for a moment. It feels frustrating. You just became a real estate agent. Last week, you might have been a teacher.
Right.
Or you could have been working for Citrix or Google or something along those lines. People do not know you as a real estate agent. Most people have to get a couple transactions under their belt before people will even treat them with any respect.
Right.
You can accelerate that by starting your own networking event, whether that be a morning event or an afternoon event or an evening event or any permutation of it. They don't have to be large. You can start off maybe having a lunch with 5 to 10 people, or you could go to a Starbucks, set up your laptop, and say, "Join my table for a free cup of coffee." So be creative, think out of the box. I mean, the reason why I was able to create the program that I have and have a networking event that's so different than other people's networking events that people love and that we duplicate all over the country, is because basically I'm not teachable, I'm not coachable, and I'm incorrigible. Nobody can tell me how to do things. So my broker could not tell me what to do. I just went out and I did what I felt I would be comfortable doing. If you choose a type of networking where you feel comfortable, whether that be going to a group or doing one-on-ones, you will have success with it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, we were introduced by a mutual friend, and she told me kind of about what you were doing, and then we had a conversation, right? This is the networking, right? Even though this is networking to the internet. And then I found another friend of mine down in Florida who actually, is a Rockstar Connect, ambassador. He actually uses it. I talked to him, and I was really fascinated because, I know that establishing those real relationships and staying on people's, radar is really important, right? And a lot of people who sell houses, they fall off people's radar, and that's why they don't consistently get that referral business. Even a second home purchase in many cases. It's like 15% of people who sell a house to somebody ever wind up using that same agent again, and it's because they lost touch, right? And after talking to Michael, he's like, I'm just always in front of all of these business owners. And he's like, it took, a couple months, but after that, it was just like everybody was calling me for everything. And he became like this super connector. And that was really what was fascinating to me. It's like almost becoming like the town mayor, right? Or the ambassador, or whatever you call it, right? Like he and others have positioned themselves in such a place where they don't have to go out and spend lots and lots of money on these expensive lead sources, where you're talking to somebody who's never seen you, doesn't know anything about you. You literally have a name and an email address. Whereas this, it was like you become magnetic, right? Like people start to come to you. And that's really what was fascinating. It's like, hey, this is another opportunity that people probably are missing out. And I don't know, you tell me, is it something that you have to work? I know that you have to work it, right? But what I mean is, if you put all of your energy into having these really awesome networking events once a month, maybe you don't have to do the dialing for dollars, going through a list of expires, right? Not to say that that doesn't work, because we know it does. That's what was fascinating to me, right? Is like people coming to you versus you going after all this other stuff, right?
Well, I think once you start doing this type of marketing, it becomes addictive. You are the mayor in your town when you host your own networking event and when you're connecting people. Of course, dialing expired listings, that's effective. You will get business, but it's not particularly enjoyable to do it.
Right.
Connecting and helping other people, not only is it good for your business, it's good for your soul. So if you are a giving person and you are generous, this is the obvious route. This is definitely a tool that you need to have in your arsenal. I make multiple referrals per day. After a while doing it, it just becomes natural. You just go to your database. Someone asks you for a divorce attorney, or they may ask you for a CPA, and you just go to your list. It takes you no effort whatsoever, and you provided them with phenomenal value. I don't have to call my clients all the time in order to get their business, because I follow up. In my case, I utilize social media. So many of the people in my sphere are on my Facebook, and they're also in my LinkedIn. And just by being a good person and congratulating them when something good happens in their life, that brings me their business. Or if I recommend a restaurant that I've eaten at and I tag the owner of the restaurant because I met them through my networking efforts, that ultimately will bring me business. I guess we talk a lot about karma. When you're doing something that helps other people and you are unselfish first, and you think about how you can help. Well, in my events, when I meet people and they come to the door, First of all, my wife is my ambassador at my event, and she welcomes the people that comes in, and then she says, Stephen David Elliott, he's standing right over there. He is the host of our event, and he is now officially your real estate agent. It breaks the ice. There's a laugh and a giggle. And I literally just stand up at the front, like as if I'm the mayor or the king or whatever term you want to use. And people come up to me and I put my hand on their shoulder and I say, what are you trying to achieve and how can I help you achieve it? What a great way to start off a potential business relationship or personal relationship.
Totally. Yeah. As somebody that values, relationships and value in general, right? Like always trying to uh, stop thinking about yourself, right? Start thinking about what you can do for the community and how you can bring a little bit of value, even if it's one thing, right? A conversation, an idea, a marketing piece. And I think that across all verticals, whether it's real estate, insurance, like we can all learn stuff from each other. There's no doubt about it, right? Like,
you meet a lot. You meet a lot of people. You get a lot of free advice from experts. If you have a digital marketing question, there's always going to be someone in your sphere that can hop on the phone with you and help you with that. But first and foremost, one of the biggest advantages of hosting your own networking event, which I would hope a lot of you that are watching this video are interested in doing, is just efficiency. Rather than going to 20 events, like you said, and grabbing 5 business cards from the wrong people, you can have your own networking event only once per month or once every 2 months or once per quarter and have the same impact, if not more impact, because you're positioning yourself not just as an attendee, but as the leader, the connector, the helper, the authority. The opportunities that arrive are fantastic. I did, to give an example, just anecdotal. Last year, because of my networking event, I was invited to speak to a women's entrepreneur group. And they usually only have women speakers, but they invited me. I was able at speaking about how to give referrals, because now I'm considered an expert in that. I was able to recruit 2 agents to my firm, which was great.
nice.
And I met a woman there. Her husband called me on the phone. He bought 2 investment properties for me. And then each of his partners bought 2 investment properties for me. And then the CEO of his company bought 10 properties for me.
Nice.
I didn't solicit any of that business. It just sort of fell in my lap. Did the business occur at my event? No, but the opportunity arose because I network.
Yeah. And that was really why I wanted to do this and make a video with you is because I'm just hearing it more and more. And real estate is very competitive right now, right? Inventory is low. This is 2018, right? Inventory is low. There's just a lot of things, and like, how can people really stand out? And a lot of people were having challenges with lead gen, right? And getting good quality stuff and having this conversation with you. I was just like, this is fantastic. And like, I mean, I know people go to networking events, but it's the first time that I've heard of somebody helping real estate agents position themselves as that ambassador versus showing up to an event that already has 6 agents. Because I think that you can stand out, right? If you are that person. And I mean, technically you can do this on your own, right? You could run a Facebook ad, or you could go to, the local, restaurant and say, hey, I want to have a networking event here, and start handing out, inviting people in the community. But the way that you kind of fast forwarded that for agents to help them was really interesting to me in making those real connections.
Well, we accelerated it. What we recognized, because I was my first client, I had to do everything myself. In reality, I was spending, it was a full-time job.
Yeah,
but that was my lead gen. So I was spending 40 hours a month doing my event. And I recognized that, I had to be very kosher. I had to be very, very orthodox to prove that my program worked and only use my program. A good real estate agent needs to have multiple tools. You need to have not just 1 or 2 forms of lead gen. You may need to have 9 or 10 to keep your funnel full. If you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you're very limited in time. you need to concentrate on money-making opportunities. So what our company does, Rockstar Connect, is we do, well, I mean, our rock stars are rock stars. You know, they are successful people. They have the right mindset. The attendees are the audience that comes to the event that we're creating into raving fans of your business. Rockstar Connect, we're the management team. We're the roadies. We're doing the work that nobody wants to do. That's, you know, booking the venue, keeping in touch with the venue. If the event has to be canceled or rescheduled because of an emergency, we're the ones doing that. We're doing the follow-up with the attendees to make sure they like the event and inviting them to the next event. We do the data management for our clients. We scan all the business cards so they can put it in to their database, and we transcribe the sign-in lists and provide them with the digital information that we collect online. That's part of our program. We also even provide the supplies for the event. The event is specifically designed to put attention on the host, so specific supplies and branding is necessary. And we provide the education. We teach people how to create deep referral relationships, and we introduce them to products, you know, like LionDesk or other services where people can keep in touch with the people that they meet at the events. Because if you don't have the follow through, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this more, you've really wasted your efforts.
Yeah, so that's and that was, I think, our initial conversation is how to once you've, you know, got 100 business cards, right? How to stay relevant and how to consistently follow up and brand yourself as that person, right? And I think that we talked a lot about the utilizing video, right, inside of LionDesk. So making that personalized video, so everybody that attends, you know, you could create one, what I call evergreen video, and saying, hey, it's Randy from Rockstar Connect or Randy from XYZ Real Estate. I just wanted to personally thank you for coming to my event. I hope to see you at future events, and then maybe follow up once a month, right? And that's why we were talking, I think initially, is how we can help guide the agents to do a better job following up, because that's really where the money is, right? Whether you're doing cold lead gen, it's all about the follow-up. It's very rare that you get a random call that says, I want to list my house, come here now. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. It's like
it's over a period of time. And also, you know, as real estate agents, you know, we're junkies for technology. We buy all sorts of products. That technology has no value unless we use it. So therefore, if you've purchased, you know, an excellent CRM, or you're paying for a newsletter to be created for you, or you have this brand spanking new website, if you don't take that data that you've collected, these new people, you know, because that technology doesn't work without people, right? It's not going to make you any money unless people are buying, selling houses, making referrals or recommendations. If you don't put them in a way that those people are at your fingertips and that you're available to them on a moment's notice, then you're missing out on tremendous opportunity. Taking business cards and throwing them in your desk or in a shoebox has no value whatsoever. I mean, I call that the shoebox syndrome.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if your value is providing, you know, referrals to your clients for vendors, and you had to open up a box and look for that one card?
Right. Yeah.
And then you can't identify which painter was it that I really respected that did a great job? Where are my notes on this client? You've lost it. You've wasted effort, you've wasted time, and you've certainly wasted money at that point.
Yeah, I mean, if you do go to a networking event, whether you're the rock star or you just go to one, like that night when you get home that afternoon, take the cards that you got. There's probably a handful of meaningful conversations that you have. Put them into a database, whether it's Excel or it's a CRM, right? And keep track of the actual conversation, because those little micro moments are important. You know, maybe he specializes in this painter, as an example, specializes in painting just exterior homes. Like that is his thing, right? You had a great conversation about, you know, whatever. keep track of that and organize it. So when you do need an exterior painter, you can go to your database and say exterior painter. I remember talking to John. He was really helpful. He even told me how to get paint at bulk at a discount, right?
Right. Or John said, for my clients, he'll paint one room for free in every house.
Right.
You want to take, the other valuable thing, don't go to a networking event without a pen or someplace where you can take notes. This is old school. Take the card and write on the back, Fernando said he would paint one free room for my clients. Take that, put it in your database. Then go on your social media and say, for all my new clients that put a listing with me, I've arranged for one home in your house to be painted for free.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, you just got an incredible value that you can pass on to your clients that'll get Fernando business as a painter, and it's going to get you clients that are going to sell their home with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
now another,
it's so ROI positive, to have those real relationships, like it's crazy what it can actually do for your business.
Well, also think about buyers too. You're creating an event. If you create your own event, what I recommend is you say it's open to all businesses. It's also open to people that are new in town, people that just want to make meaningful connections. Imagine the value proposition to someone who's new in town, a buyer that perhaps that buyer came through an internet lead. And you can distinguish yourself from your competition by saying, I have my own networking event. Hundreds of people attend over a year. And I can really introduce you to a lot of people that's going to make your life in Seattle or Miami a lot better.
Right.
I can give you instant friends and people that are going to fix your car and fix your air conditioning. And you know what? I even have a lender that if you want to purchase a home, they're going to, answer your phone at 2:00 in the morning on a Saturday night. And these are the types of relationships that you establish at these networking events.
Got it. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up because I know that we can't go too long today. But first of all, I just wanted to point out to everybody that, if you're looking for, another pillar in your business to generate really good relationships and really good, a really good referral network, I think that this, the networking stuff that you guys offer is really cool. I think it's fantastic, actually, because agents don't necessarily get to do this often, especially when they're just buying leads. So where can they find, out more information about you? Do you guys have like a blog about, best practices about networking or anything like that? Like how can people reach out to you?
The best way for them, first of all, I like to be transparent. This is a program that's designed for anyone to afford this program. Our program is only $350 per month. I know there's a lot of programs out there that are thousands of dollars. And our program does include coaching and education, as well as everything we do logistically for your event. But if you want to find out more, the best way to start is at our website, rockstarconnect.com. Rockstarconnect.com has a listing of all of our events around the country, so you can start as an attendee and check out what networking is like. It also has a live feed from our Facebook business page, so you can see pictures of events. It also has all our pricing as well, and we like to be very transparent and tell everybody what they get from us, so there are no surprises. Nobody likes surprises. But rockstarconnect.com, that's the best place to start.
Excellent. And yeah, I think that's a great idea. Like just, I've actually recently learned about a couple in my area, right? Like I think just going to one and checking it out is a really great idea. And if anything, like maybe networking isn't for you. Maybe you don't have a really outgoing personality and you're not into that, but going to one a month, building that network even deeper, being part of the community, I think is a really good opportunity. I think that's really good. I think
it's a great way. It's a great way to meet our hosts. Our hosts are leaders in the community. They're fantastic real estate agents. I mean, some of them are also financial advisors and numerous careers now. These people would love to meet you and establish relationships with you as well. I get many referrals from other real estate agents because not everybody wants the same business.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Randy. And I look forward to in the future, with LionDesk to provide education on how to utilize a CRM to manage a large sphere of influence.
Yeah.
I hope that's something we can put on the radar for later on.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to bring people, make people aware of what you guys were doing. I thought it was really cool. People have been coming to us about leads, and I'm like, you got to get out there, and you guys just happen to be there on my radar, got a connection, and yeah, I just wanted to introduce everybody.
Basically, we met through networking.
For sure. Yeah, I met a woman in Las Vegas who knew you, who you're in, I think, North Carolina. It's just how it works out. So
yeah, and what leads to national prominence and national networking is good local networking.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning of your entire new career. For those of you that are listening, get involved in networking.
Cool. Thanks everybody for watching. Stephen, thanks for your time. And if you guys have any questions, Rockstar Connect. And if you obviously have questions about LionDesk, you know where we're at, liondesk.com. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.